What's up, Interrupts? My name is Cravol. Welcome back to Custom Hearthstone Concepts. I'm not even going to try and address the time skip here. I'm very sorry for lack of uploads, but let's just get into it. This episode is going to be on Warlock spell damage synergy. There were some pretty cool cards. A lot of unbalanced cards that I decided not to show in this video, but I did enjoy. And overall, this was just a pretty fun video. I'm, again, sorry that I didn't get to it sooner. At the end of this video, I will introduce a new theme for the next video, and I'm actually going to be doing a good little bit of special things with it, both in regards to the next expansion, and with getting caught up and doing some more custom cards videos than normal, so stay tuned for that, and other than that, let's just jump right into the cards for today. Ready? Alright, and our first card comes from Isobel, or Isobel, however I'm supposed to say that. I'm sure I'm still butchering that. They've been featured in the past. It is a 3-mana, 2/4 minion called Soul Gambler, which reads Battle Cry. Gain spell damage +1 for each time your hero took damage this turn. And I think this is a fantastic Warlock spell damage card. It's very straightforward. It gives you a good amount of spell damage if you have traded off a good amount of health. The other thing is that for 3 mana, 2/4 with spell damage +1, that's already relatively tempo, but nowhere near game-breakingly so. So I really do like the balancing on this, where you really do have to kind of pay into it to get a bit of value out, but potentially you could get a lot of value out. This is one of those cards I will say that you would have to be very careful with what cards you would print around this one. If we had too much cheap self-damage, you could potentially make something kind of broken with this and with 2 Soulfires. Although even then, the nature of Soulfire does mean that that would be an unreliable combo, because you might discard your other Soulfire if you need both. There's a lot of different angles to look at it, but there is some potential danger there. Overall, though, I just think this is a relatively well-designed card. I would have added the demon tag, though. We're just going to keep going. Next up, we have Corrupted Sorcerer by Kyrie, who, again, has been featured in the past. This is a 3-mana, 3/4, so a bit more tempo there, which reads Battle Cry. Destroy a friendly minion to gain spell damage +2 on your next spell this turn. So that is for only the next spell, but it is spell damage +2. And you have to be playing either an egg deck or something where you're okay with losing minions, and I love this. The specificity of it does make it a little bit less useful, but at the same time, it is a very tempo card, and I think that there's a lot of potential for this to see genuine play if you're already playing something like an egg deck. Maybe where you have Soulfires in there as finishers, you can use this to play like a little bit early, turn 4, you've kind of emptied your hand, and then you play this, destroy an egg, and then Soulfire the opponent's face for 6 damage. That's still 6 damage and a 3-mana tempo minion. That's pretty good. And the other thing is that since it's only the next thing and you do need that minion on board, I don't see a way that this could easily be turned into an OTK. There is always that potential with spell damage, but I think that there would be a lot more effort involved. Overall, just a fairly balanced tempo 3-mana card. I really like it. Nothing more to add there. For our last one, I wanted to end on a legendary, and Justatuna, who has been very loyal in these videos, was very willing to supply me with Wilfred the Damned, who is a 6-mana, 4/4 minion, reflecting his stats on the other Wilfred card. And he has Battle Cry if you have played a total of spell damage +8, which probably should be this game, but whatever. Destroy all minions and replace your hero with Jaraxxus, Eridar, Lord of the Burning Legion. I should never do impressions. Point being, if you have played 8 cards with spell damage +1, or if you've played various different minions with different amounts of spell damage, up to a total of +8, you are able to play Wilfred to immediately become Jaraxxus for 6 mana. Honestly, that is a little bit broken, because obviously then you have, hero power beforehand, you basically get a card for free, and then you play this and you hero power afterwards, and you can immediately attack with the weapon and you have a 6/6. So it is a very big thing. but with spell damage as it is currently, I think this is entirely fair. Spell damage as it stands right now in Hearthstone is very, very anti-tempo, and you can still use it to try and get an advantage with, board clears and stuff. But for the most part, the usefulness of spell damage comes from using it in an OTK. So having this in a deck would imply that you have spell damage in your deck that is there for this card. It's not there for, a big, colossal endgame kill. And in that context, I think this is entirely fair. Basically, you're playing 8 or maybe 1 or 2 less, 6, 7 spell damage minions, low tempo minions, in order to become Jiraxis, a 9-mana card, for 3 mana cheaper. That is more than entirely fair, even under the context of what that 3 mana will give you, in other words, those 2 hero powers. Overall, and I did see a lot of discussion with this, I think there is a potential for this to be broken, but I think it's relatively fair, all things considered, and yeah, I like this card. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. For the next 2 videos, though, I do have a somewhat different, bigger plan with custom cards, so please stick around if you are interested in that, and make sure to join the Discord server where everything will be set up for that. With Saviors of Oldhim coming out, there's a major focus in Hearthstone on heroes versus villains, and specifically the League of Explorers versus the League of Evil, and that is what I would like to focus on. So we are actually going to be running 2 different card themes at the same time, maybe for 1 video and maybe for 2, it depends on how many submissions I get. But stick with me here. On the good guys side, we're gonna bolster them by having Paladin Discover synergy. Now, Discover is an effect that was introduced in League of Explorers, the original expansion, and it's one that has stuck around since then, but we have not seen any real synergy with that. So maybe you have a card that gives you the other 2 options and shuffles them into your deck, or something more similar to, Omega Assembly, where you keep all in a certain circumstance, potentially, but maybe there's something bigger like that. Maybe every time you play a Discover, or it's part of a quest, it's up to you. But whatever it is, it should be Paladin, and it should be Discover focused. On the other side, for Evil, they are attempting to figure out how to best use their lackeys, their little minions. So specifically, Rogue has got their lackeys sneaking around the shadows, and we need to figure out how best they can use those lackeys. So to spell it out perfectly, Rogue Lackey synergy, which for those of you who are not fully caught up with Hearthstone, lackeys were introduced in the last expansion. It's a keyword that refers to a set of random 1-cost minions that are very tempo-based. Now, much as the focus of this is on Oldhim, the next expansion, if you have an idea that doesn't quite fit with that, maybe the Defias's lackeys, the Defias Brotherhood, or maybe it's, the League of Evil and their paladins, and what they're quote-unquote discovering or just stealing. If you have an idea that's, not quite fitting with what I'm saying, just go for it anyways. Just put it out there. The focus is the gameplay, which is, again, Paladin Discover synergy and Rogue Lackey synergy. At any rate, if you join or are already in the Discord server, by the time this video goes up, there should be a grand total of 4 servers up in there, 4 different channels, for you to post your cards for each of these concepts, and for you to discuss the cards in each of those. So go give that a look. Again, my hope is to get enough cards for this to be 2 separate videos, and you can, of course, submit to both. You don't have to take a side here, so at any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are looking forward to the next one, and hopefully I'm able to upload a bit more consistently. For anyone who's been missing me entirely on this channel, I've been doing a lot of stuff on Twitch, and that's a lot more consistent. So all of my links to everything is in the description if you wanted to check that out, but I do apologize, I should be more active over here. At any rate, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.